In 2023, the Philippines is liable to food inflation for a number of reasons. First off, the nation has been high rates of inflation affecting both the purchasing power of the people and strong economic growth. The well-being of low-income households can be significantly impacted by the price elasticity of necessities like food and medication. Low-income countries has been observed to be most affected by changes in food costs, with declines in the consumption of meat and rice in response to price rises. Compared to households with higher incomes, those with lower income shows bigger own price elasticities and are more sensitive to price changes. Furthermore, food consumption is expected to be more impacted by price rises in lower income nations and in households with lower incomes within those nations. These results imply that price rises for necessities may have been significant adverse effect on low-income households' quality of life. Official Philippine government statistic released last week showed 7.7% inflation in October this year, the highest in the 14 years, as this derived from a composition of a basket of consumer and goods and services. Some prices of goods and services have actually gone higher at over 10%. Inflation is also lagging in all countries all over the world. In the US and Europe also at almost double digits, and worse in some developing countries. The Russian invasion of Ukraine, the surging oil prices, the supply chain disruptions, and disaster climate change are major factors. But government mismanagement is bigger a factor in some countries.
Good day to everyone. Today we will talk about the efforts of the Philippine government in addressing inflation challenges, particularly focusing on the management of basic commodity prices like rice. This article was released by Luella Desiderio, the Philippine Star, in February 19, 2024. Firstly, let's talk about the public dissatisfaction and government response. Recent survey data by OCTA Research Group revealed a record high of 75% dissatisfaction with inflation management, prompting the government's intensified efforts. NEDA Secretary Arsenio Balisacan acknowledges the urgency to tackle issues highlighted in the survey, emphasizing the government's commitment to address inflation, food security, job creation, and poverty reduction. Inflation trends. The headline inflation rate in January 2024 decreased to 2.8%, its lowest in over 3 years, mainly due to slow food prices increases. Notably, while overall food inflation eased, rice inflation surged to 22.6% in the same period, indicating specific challenges in managing rice prices. The economic progress despite the inflation challenges. Balisacan highlights economic achievements, including 5.6% economic growth in 2023 and improvements in income, purchasing power, and job creation. The Philippines has rebounded from a significant economic contraction in 2020, showcasing resilience and recovery in economic indicators. So, in conclusion, the Philippines continues to struggle with regulating inflation, particularly in essential goods such as rice. The government's efforts, emphasized by Secretary Balisacan, demonstrate the complex relationship between economic recovery, inflation control, and policy measures. As you can see in the graph above in this PPT in this slide, you can actually see the significant changes in the prices or price hikes from pre-pandemic, pandemic to post-pandemic, and to recent now. So just observe, as what you can see, there are prices that are different.
Good day everyone, my name is Jai and I will talk about elasticity. Elasticity is a method of measuring the likelihood of one economic factor affecting another, such as when the price of an item affects consumer demand or when supply affects how much something costs. Elasticity is driven by the principle of supply and demand, meaning the higher the demand of an item, the more elastic its price is. The elasticity dynamic is also affected by the number of alternative options in the market. In other words, when people have plenty of similar options, price elasticity will be lower. For example, the given product is burrito. Burrito is a kind of product which we consider as luxury since we can have alternatives or substitute for a cheaper price. The higher the price is, the lower the quantity gets. So if the owner lowers the price of the burrito, then it will definitely makes the quantity go high. So if the total revenue, will increase as a result. If the price gets lower, the quantity demand gets higher. On the other hand, in inelastic demand, the sample product is gasoline. Now, we all know that gasoline is a necessity with lesser substitute, which means we need to buy it even if the price goes higher. So even if the price gets higher, people will still buy it, and the quantity demand stays the same or decrease a little bit, which also results to an increase of the total revenue. So if the price gets lower, the quantity demand will increase but not too high. On perfectly inelastic, it is where a small increase or decrease in the price of a product will have no effect on the quantity that is demanded or supplied of the product, while the perfectly elastic means the response to price is complete and infinite. Thank you.
Inflation measures how much more expensive a set of goods and services has become over a certain period, usually a year. Like for example, when you go to a supermarket, you'll notice that the price you are usually buying is increasing. Like for example, a kilo of rice. Last year, a kilo of rice ranged from 40 to 45 peso per kilo. But now, the price goes up, range from 50 to 55 pesos per kilo, and that is because of inflation. As you can see in the slide, there are different types of inflation. First is the moderate inflation. This type of inflation is good in our economy compared to other types of inflation because it means that if the price is increasing about 3% only, people could still afford to buy the products and services, and sellers could gain more profit due to price increase. Second is the walking inflation. These types of inflation is not really good in our economy because the price is increasing each year from 3 to 10% due to shortage of supply and demands increase. Third is a galloping inflation. These types of inflation brings bad result in our economy. The cause of this inflation are due to calamities or a government wrong decision made in our economy. Fourth is the hyperinflation. These types of inflation is the worst type of inflation. Why? Because the price increase each year about 12,874.63%. In Manila, inflation in Philippines continued to decline in November, potentially signaling more modest price growth in 2024. Headline inflation dipped to 4.1% last month, its lowest in 20 months. The country's statistics agency announced on Tuesday that figure was down from 4.9% in October, and a stark contrast to the 8% recorded a year ago. Core inflation, excluding volatile items like food and fuel, also eased to 4.7% in November.
Hi and good day everyone, my name is Travical Pacobosloy, and for today's video, I will talk about elasticity. So what is elasticity? Elasticity has a vital role in shaping corporate social responsibility, or what we call CSR, and sustainability strategies for businesses. By understanding the elasticity of both supply and demand, companies can develop responsible and effective CSR initiatives that benefit society and the environment. This understanding not only enhances a company's public image but also contributes to long-term business performance. In the era of digital commerce, businesses are leveraging elasticity insights to tailor strategies for online platforms, reaching a broader audience and optimizing pricing strategies based on a cross-price elasticity. This approach allows businesses to analyze consumer behavior, adapt offerings to different income levels in various markets, and enhance overall sales volumes through strategic pricing adjustments. And that is all for elasticity. And as a marketing student, I also look forward for a quote that good marketing makes the company look smart. Great marketing makes the customer feel smart. And that is for Joe Chernov. And that is all for today's video. Thank you and goodbye.